Welcome back to Capra Review, continuing our coverage of the now one-year war in Ukraine. We want to bring in Olena Halushka from Kyiv, Ukraine. She's the head of the international relations at the Anti-Corruption Action Center. Olena, thank you so much for joining us from Kyiv. So you're a Ukrainian. This is your home. You're raising a young family there. Talk to us about living through this horrific war.
Well, of course, this is experience which you wouldn't want anybody to go through, because Russia is waging full-scale genocidal war, which is aimed either to conquer, to take over Ukraine fully, or exterminate the country which does not want to surrender. And Russia is waging very aggressive and savage terrorism at the peaceful Ukrainian towns. Just yesterday, there was an attack on Kherson bus stop, which killed a very young, very beautiful woman. What Russians are doing, they are killing Ukrainian civilians. They are killing our best people on the battlefield. They are raping our women, looting, torturing those who stay in the occupation. They are stealing and deporting our kids. Ukrainian government has recorded 16,000 of cases of such abduction, and those people are so-called rehomed, and they will be illegally adopted into Russian families. Many Ukrainians were forced to resettle, to change their homes for the safety reasons. However, every day, every Ukrainian does whatever we can in order to advance Ukrainian victory.
Yeah, the Ukrainian strength is just so inspiring. And let's talk about your work on the Anti-Corruption Action Center. How much corruption actually is there, Olena? What is it that we don't know or don't hear about in America?
It is very important to have an understanding of the historic context, because before the Revolution of Dignity, which happened in 2013, 2014, Ukraine was utterly corrupt country. But people made it to the streets to say enough is enough. We are going to get integrated into European Union, and we want to have rule of law, we want to have justice and zero tolerance to corruption. And since that time, we have introduced a number of justice sector reforms, transparency reforms. We built new institutions for investigation and prosecution of top-profile corruption from scratch. Is that enough to say that Ukraine fully eradicated corruption? Not yet. But what we are seeing, that there is very big demand in the Ukrainian society to get all those things done properly. But there is also very high demand from the international partners. And successful fight against corruption is Ukraine's commitment for the integration into European Union, and hopefully will be also part of our NATO integration.
And Olena, you brought up NATO. I know that was a frustration for you. Also, I've seen the pictures that you've posted on Twitter, the men, women, children killed by the rockets and missiles. What has been some of the biggest frustrations for you on a day-to-day as you're waiting for this all to end?
My biggest frustration is probably the fact that Russia isn't fully isolated on the international arena. Unfortunately, over the last year, Russians continue to make dozens of billions of dollars on the international trade, mostly the trade on energy resources. Russia is not kicked out of the international institutions. So they continue to use UN, OSCE, and other institutions as the platforms to spread their false narratives, to spread their propaganda. I think that it's important that Russia, which is a terrorist state, is not anymore part of the civilized world. They should be kicked out of the international institutions until they fully stop the war, withdraw their troops from all of entire territory of Ukraine within the internationally recognized borders, pay the reparations, return all of our people who were kidnapped back to Ukraine, and its leadership are held accountable at the tribunal for Russian aggression.
And following that, talk to us more about the Ukraine that you want to see and rebuild after this is all over?
It should be democratic. It should be ruled only by the law. People have to have decent lives and market economy, respect to human rights, but also membership in the European Union and NATO, because only that could be really effective security guarantees to make sure that Ukraine is strong enough that Russia never, ever dares to attack us again.
Olena Halushka from Kyiv, Ukraine, thank you so much for being here and for your time. We really appreciate it. Stay safe.